Ever since I learned how to make Sonoran style flour tortillas, I've become an addict. I'm making everything from breakfast tacos, as you see here, to quesadillas, to fajitas, even tacos with carne asada. I'm gonna show you how to make it, and as usual, all the ingredients will be linked in the description box down below. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We're gonna start mixing our lard into flour. Now you're gonna cut this in exactly the way you would do it if you were making biscuits or pie dough. I started cutting my lard into the flour with a fork. Now, if you don't want to eat lard, you can substitute it with olive oil or butter or any other kind of oil that you prefer. Work the fat into the flour until you get small little pebble-sized chunks. Once you have your fat worked into the flour, it's time to dissolve some salt into water. Now, by mixing your salt into the water, it makes the salt distribute more evenly throughout your tortillas. I've found that if you use slightly cooler than room temperature water, it makes for a really nice tender tortilla. Give this a mix until you get a nice shaggy dough and then work it with your hands. At this stage, you may be tempted to add more water, but do not add any more water. Just work the flour into the loose bits and it will all come together. This process took me about 5 minutes. Now, if you have a food processor, you can just pour everything together and your tortilla dough will be ready in about 30 seconds. So after 5 minutes of kneading the dough, I removed it from the bowl and I just kneaded it onto my work surface. Now I'm gonna wrap this up and let the dough rest for 30 minutes before I portion them into 30-gram dough balls. 30 grams will give you anywhere between a 6 to 8 inch tortilla, depending how thin you roll them out. And if you want smaller tortillas like 4 or 5 inches, then portion them out to 25 grams each. Once you're done portioning out all your dough balls, give them a nice shaping. You want them to be nice, smooth, round balls. It's gonna make the rolling process a lot easier. And to make the rolling process even more easy, I'm flattening them out a little bit and letting these rest for about 10-15 minutes before I start the rolling process. Once they're rested, they're gonna be really soft and pliable. Dust them in a lot of flour because they are sticky. Rolling tortillas isn't that difficult. Practice will make a lot of improvements. Just start in the middle, roll up, go back to the middle and roll down and give your tortilla a quarter turn. And then you're gonna start to see them take shape. Now, the most important part of rolling out these tortillas is to get them as thin as possible. I'm using this rolling mat underneath just so I can demonstrate how thin I'm going. You want to be able to see through them. I know everyone wants a perfectly round tortilla, but unless you've been doing this for a long time, don't worry about it. You can always stretch it and shape it with your hands. And I know once I can see the red lines through my flour tortilla, it's ready to go onto the plancha. Now my plancha has been heated to high heat and I'm gonna show you in real time how quickly these things cook. Now what you're looking for is the formation of a lot of bubbles on the surface. As you can see here, the bubbles are starting to form. That means your tortilla is cooking nice and evenly. Once you see the tortilla being peppered with bubbles, it's time to flip them over. Now the second side is also going to take about 10 seconds or so. You're going to see a little bit of puffage. I like to press down on my tortilla to make sure that the other side gets full contact with the surface. Flip it over for about another 10 seconds and you're going to see this puff out really nice. Now I've had some tortillas that puff up completely like a giant balloon. But as long as there's a little bit of puffage going on, you're gonna be okay. I don't know why I just keep flipping this thing. It's so addicting making these. But once they're done, you wanna remove them and put them stacked on top of each other, wrapped in a towel. That way that they steam themselves up, they soften each other up, and they continue to cook, and they'll be really nice and soft. Again, rolling tortillas, start in the middle, roll up, start in the middle, go down, quarter turn, and continue to do so until they are nice and thin. As you can see here, I can see my fingers through the tortilla as well as the lines. And again, I'm gonna put these on the plancha to cook them. I'm not gonna have you guys watch the whole thing, but just keep in mind that these cook really fast, maybe like 30 seconds tops. Now, if you don't have a plancha, feel free to use a cast iron pan or any kind of skillet. It's gotta be a dry skillet. Don't add any oil or fat or butter, none of that stuff. Just cook it the way it is. 30 seconds total, stack them on top of each other, wrapped in a towel. Today I decided I'm gonna be making breakfast tacos. I had some extra egg whites lying around, so I combined that with the whole egg. I'm deep frying some tater tots in the back. My favorite breakfast tacos is egg, cheese, and potato, but since I had tater tots, why not? Don't forget to season your eggs. It's always about seasoning. And then also, once the tater tots are done, don't forget to season them as well. Now, if you've never had fresh flour tortillas, you need to treat yourself and make this recipe. Once you do, you can add this to your arsenal of cooking and recipes. Otherwise, how could you say that you're winning at life? Now, obviously, if you're making breakfast tacos, you can fill them with anything that you want. These tortillas are also perfect for taquitos, quesadillas, fajitas, anything that you would eat a flour tortilla with. These Sonoran style flour tortillas are the king of all flour tortillas. And yes, flour tortillas are authentic to northern Mexico, where the soil and the climate is better suited to grow wheat than corn. There's a whole history segment about it. You can read more about it on my blog at www.cookingwithcheftuan.com. Now it's time to enjoy these tacos. Look, you can see the eggs through the tortilla, and they just dissolve in your mouth as you're chewing without that bready, gummy flavor of store-bought tortillas. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead, click the like button down below and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Welcome to the family. These tortillas are so addicting and delicious, guys. Give this recipe a try. Take care of yourselves, and as always, peace.